Okay, there we go. Oh, I am? Yeah. All right, guys. So I'm going to address a couple of issues. I put up a thing about my stepson losing their dog. I was there when they put it down, and I said, go on. It tore them up. And I thought, you know what? If ever there was any spot that there wasn't going to be nothing negative, it would have been that. Shame on me for being stupid, right? Live and learn. So, Dub's people always got a thing to say, man. And in the middle of accusing me of being negative, what they're saying is entirely fucking negative. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna tear Dubs a new fucking asshole on this next podcast I put out. I'm gonna lay him all on the fucking line, the facts about everything, from the mentally ill kid that they stole the shoes from, everything. I'm just gonna put that out there, and I'm gonna tell you right now that if you're somebody that thinks Dubs is a positive influence on anything, get the fuck off my channel. I don't need you. I don't need your views. I don't need your subscribes. I don't need none of it. I don't want you over there. If you think the shit that him and that yo-yo, that fucking clown partner has done, bringing Donnie on there, the mentally ill individual, and clowning him and making fun of him and laughing and doing all kinds of making him do gang signs and stuff is the way to go. That's the sign of somebody trying to straighten out. If you think that's the way to go, get off my channel. I don't want your views. I don't want your subscription. I don't want nothing from you. Okay? That's just that. All right? And I mean that. Period. Those guys are losers, clowning the mentally ill. And I know who died and left me the representative or the protector of the mentally ill. Well, you know what? We should all be protected. If you don't feel like it's your job to stand up and look out for them, then you're somebody else I want to leave this page. Stay with Dubs, watch Dubs. You know, because that's the kind of mentality you got. Him and that dude Gunner, Runner, Stunner, or whatever the hell his name is. I don't care. I don't give two fucks about them dudes anymore. You know, I've heard a lot of things now that have come to light about the things he's done. At first, I was mad about because I'm a rider and he's talking all that crap about the ride. You know, that upset me. You know, people ask me, "Hey, Ronnie, are you still a rider? Are you this and that?" And I was a rider as a kid in YA. I never dropped out. Then again, I have to go ahead and tell you with this disclaimer that this channel is for information purposes only. It's for entertainment purposes only. Okay, so take that for what it may be. You know, maybe I'm just trying to entertain you. Then again, I come on here and tell you I always tell the truth. All right, and you'll never see me step up here and have somebody mentally ill here next to me so I can cartoon and clown. Right, and if you support that, fuck off this channel. That's exactly what I said, and I mean it. I fucking mean it. Now, on the less serious note, in nature, dudes come on there like some people coming on all the time saying, "Oh, your hat's backwards, it's flipped up, and what the, you know, how immature is that?" Same people that say that stuff when he's clowning the mentally ill are the ones saying that. But here's the thing, right? I am me. I'm a different individual. I am separate. I'm unique to who I am. If I change who I am so completely that I become the person that says I have to be like them, pretty soon we're just the fucking Stedford wives. We're up here, all of us, looking alike. Nobody's different. Everybody's the same. What a boring world that would be. So, you know, I want to continue to wear my hat flipped up in the front like I have my entire destructive and disjointed life. I'm going to continue to wear it turned around backwards like I have it now because that's what I've always done. And that's always been me. And also, then I get people coming on saying, "Oh, button your shirt up. How childish is that?" Well, it was 103 degrees in this trailer that day. And I left the top two button because I was trying to keep it cool and keep it shut. You know what I mean? At the same time, I was trying to serve two masters right there. But it was a hot motherfucker up in there. And hell, I didn't even feel like having the shirt on at all in any event. So there you go, you know.
Chris Cannon wants to know. He goes, "I'm white pride all day, not racist, but I only date Asian women. Am I a traitor? I'm being serious. Thanks, man."
You know what you are? You're whoever you want to be when you look at yourself in the mirror. Bro. I'm not judging somebody for who they date or want to be with. You can't. Okay, to ask that question, right? Um, who cares? Who cares what somebody thinks? Okay. And here's something else I want to say to you, right? Why in the world you date and you're having sex with this and that? If I'm worried about what another man's doing with his dick, there's a problem. You do with your little tallywhanger anything you want to. All right, that's your business. All right. I mean, the hardcore racism and stuff. Look, the Dubs thing really threw me off my mark. Right, give people the impression that of something else. I don't care, black, white, Mexican, Asian. I mean, I'm about my race. I'm proud of my heritage and the whole 9 yards. But that doesn't mean that in order for me to be proud of mine, that I have to step on, belittle, or destroy another race, which is what California prison system teaches you have to do. There's a reason for that. There's survival that's needed, and we have to do a lot more with a lot less. And it's fucked up because it fucks your mind up to a point to where you get out and you have to start unwinding and start thinking right and seeing everything. There is no place in our society for racism anymore. People ain't having it. They just ain't having it, brother. Now I'll tell you what I am. I suffer a bad case of stupidism. If you're fucking stupid, yeah, I don't like you. You know, I mean, so there we go. So I went from this whole racism thing over to stupidism. I don't like stupid people. That's you, Dubs. I don't fucking like you. You're fucking stupid. Yeah, and I'm a bad guy because I'm calling him out on the shit he does. And everybody's around saying, "Look, I'm going to tell you something. Oh, keep doing, Dub. You're helping a lot of people. Show me one thing Dub's ever done to help anybody but himself. One thing, okay? People say, "Hey, Ronnie, I want to see receipts for you sending stuff back into prison and all that." Why would I elevate you to somebody I have to answer to? I will take somebody off from under my shoe because that's where you exist. That's your level. And now I'm going to elevate you to somebody I have to explain myself to. Go fuck yourself. Okay? I don't have to explain myself to you. I mean, I got an audience and a following that I will explain things to them. But somebody like you that tries to hit me with that real reverse psychology and all that stuff, man, that wants me to take you and peel you out from under the turd that you live under and raise you up to somebody I have to answer to and justify anything I'm doing to, like I said, go fuck yourself. You, Dubs, Gunner, Runner, Drunner, and all the fucking crew right there can all sit in the corner and fuck yourself. Because I got nothing. You're just lame, straight out.
We got a couple Slayer reviews saying how you want to, Ronnie. And then Abe Lavery saying, "Ronnie, please keep up the great work trying to eradicate the parasite, aka Dub's Joker. He's a complete under hypocrite, supports ICE and deportations of the dome, bro. Can't leave his bedroom."
Right. Okay. Yeah, and that does too bring up. I mean, it's one thing for a guy that has no threat from ICE and deportation and all of that to support ICE. It's another thing for a guy who that's his people to support ICE. I mean, that's pretty low level and low down. I do support Trump for the good things he's doing, but look, I don't follow him blindly on every little get down he does. It's not my thing, you know. Um, I personally don't like the fentanyl in the country right now. I don't dig it at all. I don't like any kids dying from it. I don't like what's going on from it. And if they can eradicate that, then I'm behind what he does to eradicate it because I've had some friends that have died from it, and I got one I'm picking up in Delano here a couple of weeks that's getting out, and he damn near died from it. He's a writer, and he damn near died from it, man, and that affects me. So this whole thing with the but outside of that, if somebody comes to this country and they're contributing to the fabric of our society and all of that, I don't want them to go. I don't want them to go. But if they're coming here and they're just and I used to be in the dope game and I was wrong. Right? I went to the feds for 25 pounds of meth. And I used to send it to Hawaii, Maui. I flooded that. And that's then. That's what I went to the feds for. And fucking the fentanyl thing and the cartels and all that's going on. And besides that, it's going to happen whether we like it or not. So whether you're behind it, support it or not, that's going to happen. And it's a perfect storm in California because the price of drugs right now are so cheap in California, right? They're almost giving them away. Homeless people are out collecting pop bottles, which is supporting their drug habit, right? When them drugs become harder to get now, all them cats out living in the desert and all living on the street, they're going to turn to more serious crime because they can no longer get their drugs with plastic bottles, pop bottles to turn in. Now they're going to start robbing again and all that. Our prisons are going to fill up, and these programs I do are going to be in dire need there, man, and they're going to be in place. And I'm going to help people get out. And I've been questioned on that too. You know, that is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to have right now. I will have. Here's the thing, right? So Thunder's going to call in. He's got a death sentence. It's still over. He's not on death row anymore. He's off, but he could end up back on death row. I got a feeling this governance coming in play is probably going to open it back up and slam them dudes all back down again. But in the meantime, while he's out there, he's going to give us a call. He's going to clarify a few things because some guys had said some things about him, and I can't answer it because I don't know. And if I, like I said, I like to be able to tell you guys the truth. So if I can't clarify the get down on what happened with kites and all of that when he was at Corcoran in the shoe and was passing kites for the fellas, both Mexican and white. I can't say that, oh, this is what happened or that's what happened because I wasn't there and I don't know. So I am not going to co-sign it. But I can have him call in like this on the lives and I can give him an opportunity to address what was said. And in the same time, you guys can get in here with some questions you want to know. Hey, how's it feel to be on the shelf, to be a guy that you know they're going to kill one day? You know?
Stephen Neal, have him retype this question because it got cut off after Sleeper and you.
Hey, Steve, is it Stephen Mill?
Steve McNeil.
Steve McNeil. Hey, Steve, get at me with that question again because somehow it got cut off, and I guess that happens sometimes. I know so very little about this stuff, right? I just barely learned how to answer the phone, really.
Yeah, it's more good stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Does people and him report videos to YouTube police and shit?
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Does
They try, but we've done nothing wrong.
I challenge Jubs to a legal get down in an octagon, right? So that we could promote it and then take the money that anything makes on it and do some good with it. I mean, he is who he is. I mean, I'm not the if I know if he's a liar and I know that, guess what? I'm gonna call him a liar. If he's got mentally retarded people on his show, and he does, and he did, then that right there is bullying, right? So if Dubs gets to report anything, he's got to report himself for bullying the mentally ill.
Well, I'm sure all those lives are deleted.
Yeah, but there's people that heard all that. But anyways, it don't interest me, and I can't do this podcast scared that this dude might tell on this or tell on that, or you know what I mean. Be all you can be, Dubs. Get to telling. All right. I don't do a damn thing anyway, so I don't care. I watch a few of your podcasts. I did it because I want to know about you and see what you're about. And I know what you're about now, stud. And the rest of the world does too. And then there's this thing about these shoes, these Nike shoes that were donated for Donnie, the mentally ill kid, the Jordans, right? The Jordans were donated for Donnie, the mentally ill kid. All of a sudden, after you guys get got on for clowning him and showing your true nature, okay, and so you stop having him on, and now you got messages from him asking for his shoes.
His mom even got on.
And his mom got on there. So why would you steal shoes from a mentally ill kid?
That was dumb.
Yeah, that's just dead wrong. So Donnie, if you're watching this, or Donnie's mom, listen, man, get in touch with me, Donnie. I'm gonna buy you some shoes, man, some Jordans. All right.
If anyone knows how to contact Donnie,
yeah,
media,
contact them, let them know, tell them to reach out to me. My number's on my website, and tell them to reach out to me, and I'll get you some shoes, man. A lot better ones than those guys stole. All right, Donnie, and I'm not gonna laugh at you and clown you and ask you to come on here. You know.
Okay. So Steve McNeil was asking when he said he's asking how you doing. I really appreciate your time and how you're living your day. Did you by chance ever do time with a dude from Napa County by the name of Mickey McNeil?
That rings a bell. You know, I'm kind of long in the tooth now, brother. And here's the thing with me, and I'll be honest with people, right? What I always want to be, but it's like this. I'm the kind of guy that I'll call somebody Holmes, hey Holmes, for the first year and a half that I know them. If they're around after that, I'll get their name. So I probably do. I did so much freaking time that there's not a lot of people that were part of the whole get down that I haven't met, brushed shoulders with, or no. You know what I mean? I've talked to some people that know Dubs too, man, and I get the mixed ball about him, man. Some guys tell me that, hey, that's a really solid, good dude. So here's my thoughts, and I'm just going to tell you my opinion of it, right? My opinion of it is that when Dubs isn't drinking, he's a solid motherfucker. It's all about doing the right thing. He's all about doing good things. The minute he sticks that fucking liquor to his lips, he gets stupid, and all the dumb comes out. Okay, and does become somebody that he's normally not. I don't drink because every time I drink, I get in fights. All right, done deal. Don't drink, Ronnie. That was the catalyst. Don't drink. So, and I found that if I go to bars and I stay sober, I'm at the end of the day, I'm the last man standing. So I'll be the designated driver. But yeah, I choose not to drink.
Ronald Moore is asking Jimmy Reed, did you know him? Jimmy Reed.
I know the singer.
Jimmy Reed
OD'd on heroin. No, he's a singer.
Oh, yeah, no. Jimmy Reed.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh shit! I guess High Pirate Fetcher, he's saying that they never gave Donnie his PlayStation either. I mean, you just find out more shit.
So you got a PlayStation 2 that they didn't give Donnie. So somebody else comes on and says that too. So let me tell you something. You have no fucking moral high ground, Dubs, at all. None. Zero. None. You're a creep. Period. That's just the bottom line. I fucking hate you, dude. For that. I mean, I was mad because you talk crap about the ride and all that. You say you didn't. If it was true, you wouldn't have took the video down. Okay, so we know you did. All right, and I was mad about that, but you know what? That was kind of personal. And the deal was this, right? Is that I didn't have to deal with it. I can turn my back on that, walk away from it. But doing this shit you guys did to the mentally ill, nah. I'm gonna stand up for them all day, every day. Yeah. But here's the thing too, right? Is a lot of people on my show I see that followers and listeners, they're believers, they're Christians, they believe in God. Dubs, you will get your just reward in the end. You can duck and you can dodge and you can hide from everybody but that man. So when you take your last breath and you're standing there getting judged, I'll bet you they bring up Donnie because you deserve it.
Slytherin 82. What about Youngster from the ride? Big Youngster's nephew.
I do know Youngster. Yes, sir. You know, I had the keys there in the guidance center. That I would camp out there in Sycamore, right? And I had the keys there for a long time, man. And I kept going back on violations. And so there wasn't many dudes that got out and came back on a violation that were from down there. Oh, I do know Jimmy. Wait a minute. Okay, so we'll go back. Jimmy Reed, he's from Northern California. That's who they're talking about. Jimmy, I know him very well, actually. Yeah, I do know Jimmy Reed. But anyways, there was a few people that I don't know that were in the ride that came through. You know, and I had a policy. I hear people say, yeah, they brought in a lot of dudes that were level 2s, and they did. And the minute I see somebody come from a 2-yard claim to be a rider, I tell them you're on deck. You get ready to earn those the right way, not with a fist fight. And I'd put them on deck to handle the business, man. And you know, it was about a 50-50 trip. Half of them took care of business, and half of them bailed. But you know, you got to thin the herd, and that's the way it was. I was there. Me and Maurice. I did the interview with him, and so Maurice hits. So the ride's all there, and it's deep. There's a lot of riders on the line in Chino at the time in the guidance center, right? And I don't know it, but David Vogt and the San Bernardino DA are looking at me for the RICO. We can flash. Well, we can't. This is live, so going to the screen, right? But I will at some point when I do the podcast and all this. Flash it on there, right? So I was hit with all kinds of gang charges. So they stepped in and said to leave me out on the line because I had the keys. And they came through one day and they swept, wham, and they got almost every rider off the fucking line and locked them up. And Gangster was in the back. They were in Cypress Deep Sag in the back. And because O'Neill gave me the run of the prison, right? He gave me, the Mexican, and the black guy that were on top the run of the prison. He'd come in and open the doors immediately, first thing every morning, and let us have the run of the prison. He'd bring the kitty back to the hole and all that. And, Gangster went back there to face everybody down and tell the fellas that, you know what, hey man, that's cool. You guys are who you are, man. But any tip that has to answer to another one or lets him take control isn't a tip, and we're our own tip. And you know, they appeased Gangster. They did what they did because it was right after that that Stinson walked the six in. You know, Joseph Lowry, Blue, and all them. So they were just appeasing him. But I'll give Gangster this. He went back and looked him in the eye and told him everything he had to say and talked to him about FTB and the whole deal that was going out because we were in a circle out on the yard talking about. So here's how it goes then. So they find out that they jumped the gun, that Sacramento hadn't signed off on them slamming everybody, and they had to let them all back out. So when the skinheads, Sadistic Skin Jr. sitting in front of me, he's telling me that, hey, you know, the ride's really not out here and the heads want the keys, and he's sitting on the bed wearing Madrone and I'm looking over his shoulder. And I tell him, hey, if I'm out here, the entire fucking ride is out here and they're not getting the keys. And I know why they sent you because you're my old celly. And they figure that angle. But I'm looking over his shoulder and they released all the riders from the hole. And here's Bam Bam. Here's Gangster, just all these riders. And I tell Junior, I said, look, you know, brother, I love you, but you got some fucking impeccable timing. Turn around. And he turns around, he sees them, he goes, they're gonna hit me. I said, no, I'll try and talk it down. But I didn't know he had been running up and down the hallway talking shit about the ride. So they're coming out with his name at the top of the list. And we're having a little circle, and the feds are in the law library. And they're in the library, and they got their camera pointed at us on the yard, and we're all talking. And it comes out that another old celly of mine is going to hit Junior. So I say, hey, you know what? Both these dudes are my cellies. You know, I'm going to back my comrade right here no matter what, the one making his bones. But I had love for Junior too. So I'm in one of these moments, right? And I say, just, I'm going to wash my hands of that one. And don't let it happen by me. Just take care of it however you're going to do it, right? And I tried to step back from it, right? And then an FTB came up, okay? And Gangster talked that down, man. People always hang that Gangster pushed FTB. No, he didn't, man. There was Flipper and all these dudes around in the circle with us. They were talking that. One of them says, I'll get it blasted on my forehead. And I'm like, I told him straight out, that's a really bad idea. It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. It's not a bad idea to split with them dudes and do our thing, but it's a bad idea to disrespect them on the way to do that. You know, you're going to disrespect them dudes. You're going to force them to do something, and they are very smart. Used to be anyways. I don't know about nowadays. I don't even get into that shit with them nowadays, but that's how it was. So yeah, maybe I'm putting the band back together and we're going to start do some nonprofit stuff and helping people get out of prison and stay out. Maybe the ride is going to have a good name on it for a while. You know charity. What I mean? Yeah, the charity riders. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, but so you know that all went down right there, and it ended up hitting Junior too. But you know what? They couldn't get him until he sit down next to me because he was too aware of, and he threw his guard down and sit down next to me, and that's when it happened. I was like, fuck, you know. And I wasn't happy about it, but I mean, he came back out. I'll give him that. You know what I mean? He went in and he talked to people and talked to everybody and came back out.
Okay, so Abe Lavery gave us the very first donation, five euros, and he says, "Humor is the one, Ron. Keep outing the fakers, bakers, and bullshit content creators for watching. Thumbs up."
Right on, brother. Right on. And I can guarantee that cat right there that all your stuff will go to either getting these books that go into prisons. I'm getting ready to go into Vacaville, and it all goes to these programs I bring to these dudes. But I'm getting ready to do something with a car with some at-risk youth in a program out here. They got it. My friend who owns the car lot is going to donate the car, and then we're going to go to the guy that has the youth program where he teaches them how to work on cars and restore classics. And we're going to build a nice lowrider. We're going to put together because I got a lot of Mexicans that watch my channel and all that. I'm a lowrider. it's what I'm partial to. So we're going to build a nice lowrider. We're going to raffle it off right here on everything, but I'm going to hire a company to raffle it so everybody knows it's above board and get that done. And then we're going to raffle it off, and then that nonprofit and this nonprofit is going to split the money, and it's going to all go back into us. Anything that comes into this, brother, I'm sitting in a, okay, so look, and Sandman will tell you right now, I'm in a 30-foot trailer right now. It has 2 TVs, got a refrigerator, a freezer, got a microwave, got a stove, got all that. Got a bedroom, got a king size bed here, got a queen size bed out there. I drive a Denali, okay? I got 2 Harley Davidsons, snow cone and a moon pie, right? Okay, so I have everything I need. I live in $1 million home that I don't have to pay a dime for. Okay, I don't pay rent or nothing, and that's just fine. So anything that comes in, I'm not doing a rub a dub dub with it, stick in my hip pocket or anything like that. This is all going where it needs to go. And I'm not begging, soliciting for anything. And if you think that, well, if you got all that, Ronnie, why don't you put something into it? Okay, so when I do my next podcast, I'm going to show you pictures. This book, Amazon charges $70 for it, 72 actually, because it's a workbook. Okay, so they got it in that category. I just brought 25 of these down to Solano Prison, bought them myself out of my own pocket. They don't give these to me. I brought them in there. I'm getting ready to buy 25 more out of my pocket. All right, I'm going to bring them into Vacaville, and then after that, I'm going into San Quentin. Every time I bring a program into one, it starts with 25 people, well, 24 and a facilitator. So that all comes out of my pocket. Period. I'm not crying about it. You know what I mean? If I couldn't do it, I wouldn't do it. But I do it because I can. All right, and I do as much as I can, and as much as I can isn't quite enough, but it's something.
So Slytherin82 is asking, how come people are saying Haas started FTB? Junior from OC has NLR on the side of his head. So he's asking why did Haas
out of Orange County?
I believe so. He's saying, how come people are saying the rumor that Haas is the one who started FTB?
Okay, so I'll break down what the deal is with the ride, why it's so confusing. Okay, NLR took off in California everywhere. Right, different areas believe different things about the ride. All right, Bakersfield believed that the ride shouldn't have been a prison tip itself, and they started recruiting on the streets. They were the only area that did that. Okay, everybody was doing and thinking different things. The dudes in San Bernardino, right, that were recruiting and all of that, they think the ride didn't start until the brand sanctioned. Okay, dudes in Long Beach who were in YTS and YA, even in Nellis back in the day, and in that was Carl Holton and all that, and they were in these YA joints, and they were doing the thing and signing their letters in their letters home and mail and everything in LR and all that back in the 70s. All right. So they believe that NLR started in the 70s, and everybody's telling the truth. That's the whole thing, is that NLR as a prison tip didn't start until it got sanctioned. NLR as a fad started way back when. And that's basically why you get so many mixed up stories. So you got guys and I'm trying to remember Haas's name. Starts with an L. The last name starts with an L, I believe. And me and Haas put somebody in together on the East Yard, and I know him. But the guys in Orange County that are part of that get down right there, right? The ones that are with Haas, and that he was the first one they heard it from. They will put it out there that Haas started the FTB. There's other guys that say that Gangster started the FTB, and Gangster didn't start. Gangster spoke against it because I squatted right there next to him. Me and him were out there in the whole circle, and I heard him straight out tell them, dudes, this is not a good idea, fellas, because those guys, man, they're going to. And he started pointing to dudes and saying, "You ain't gonna hang. You ain't gonna hang. You ain't gonna hang." When the shit hits the fan, a lot of you guys ain't gonna be around to smell it. You know what I mean? And because you're gonna run. And he was right. And I told him straight out too. I said, as soon as this is done, and you guys do this, and the ride isn't gagged, and you don't have a way to keep people from talking to the fellas, they're gonna get in between your fucking ears so fast and split this fucking tip, and they're gonna have one side fighting the other side, and they're gonna do it all for sport. And you go hand them something they're gonna love to do. And they did, and they did, and they did. You know what I mean? So it all got it.
Kyle Denton is asking, Hey, do whites from NorCal get along with the whites from SoCal, or is there a divide?
There was a divide. There was a divide for a minute in the ride, anyways. In Northern California riders, Southern California riders. This was a part of a perfect storm, and I don't know. So the perfect storm was this, and it's surprising that the ride even came through the other end with anything. All right, but they are in the feds, and they're in every state now because they went to the feds under Ricos and started recruiting. But the thing was this: you got David Volk of the FBI, who's handed down the RICO Act, and there's other ones too. But he was doing all the research for the RICO. Okay, so that's going to come down. A lot of tips, and they've hit several tips several times. They've devastated them, right? I mean, anybody that knows anything about the DNF back in the day, back when hydraulics were El Monte Reds and all of that, and they back when those guys had all them car lots in Northern California. I mean, they were the richest tip there was. Them dudes they had it going fucking on. They were the definition of having it going on. And they got hit by the feds so fucking hard. It almost devastated them dudes, right? You know, you got Manny, you got Smiley. I know both those dudes. But so anyways, it hit them hard, almost devastated them completely, man. And they were a very rich tip. So the ride is getting hit by this fucking RICO Act. Now, when that happens, people start turning and telling because they don't want to see what RICO looks like in a courtroom. And when you have a small tip, it's not a lot of people that turn and tell. When you got Fox News saying there's 1,500 members, imagine how many, if just 30% of those dudes start telling. That's a heavy trip, man. We're getting dismantled while the feds are RICOing people, while we're getting slammed in the hole, while the fellas are splitting the tip and got them fighting each other, while it's divided up north versus south and all that stuff, and all this stupid stuff is going on. I, for one, am very surprised that it survived.
Eddie Leon, what's your take on Mike Thompson?
Mike Thompson, he just got beat up in Lancaster, I think.
Oh, he did?
Yes, he did. I talked to people in Lancaster where he's at right now, if they haven't shipped him already or whatever. But I think the Mexicans beat him up, got him, or they didn't hit him, but I think they put hands and athlete's feet all over him. Right?
Well, he was telling the bullshit story how he fought off 9 NF members with knives.
Yeah,
like fucking Bruce Lee Wing Chun and shit.
Well, he didn't fight him off this time.
No.
Like I said, they put hands and athlete's feet all over him. But my thing is this, right? You want to disrespect those guys, shame on you. You know what I mean? You get what you got. You're gonna go out and sign up for it. I think. Okay. So number one, Mike Thompson is, and anybody knows it, is old school, the old guard, right? He's not a dummy. He's smart, but smart people sometimes do stupid things, man. And for him to go after the NF is a stupid thing because that's a forever enemy. Bottom line. And I mean, there's that. Yeah, that's what I think about him.
Donald Trump was saying California Drive in Peabody and Vacaville. I have a house across the street from that president. Come by to say hi.
He has what?
He has a house across the street from Vacaville up there.
I will come by and say hi. Tell him just tell him email us.
Yeah.
And send me an address, and I'll come by and say hi. Anything else he wants to say.
I'll drop our.
Yeah, that's the guy with the comment about the certificates.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. I'll say hi right to him. I'll say bye too.
Blackwood is saying, "Solid fucking white, brother."
I love your life, man.
Let's see, Abe Avery, again, thank you for our first donation. We're saying we believe, just keep it straight up, bro. You're welcome when it's for all cons, bro. So he's just welcome to this on YouTube. So
right on. So, hey, and you know what? I want to say this too, right? If Dubs gets out there and he's not drinking and he's doing good shit, I'll join forces with him. We can do some good shit together. The minute he starts drinking and doing stupid shit, clowning and stealing from mentally ill, I can't be a part of that. I have to see somebody over that. You know what I mean? It's just what it is. And look, I'm going to tell you this right now. This is based on information. It came to me in ways from more than one direction. and therefore I'm inclined to believe it, but I didn't see it. Okay, but I'm inclined to believe the Donnie stuff, and that is enough right there. That dude should make amends for that. Period. You know, and I mean, come on, dude, come on. You and Gunner both should make amends for that. And if you need to see how to go about writing grants and responding to grant requests and trying to get your nonprofit going and doing all of that, reach out to me. If you just lack the intelligence or you just lack the know-how on how to get around doing it right, Dubs, I ain't beyond doing something positive with you. But not so you can steal the money. Not so you can use it to pay for your ride or do anything like that. You have to take it and do all the things you're going to want to get on later and say you did. But I can tell you something. Feels good. Feels a lot better than sparring with each other over the fucking internet.
Tony Enclave, man, he donated $1.99, not once but twice.
Right on.
Yeah. Let's see. So this guy, all right, take this with a grain of salt because I really don't know if Splinter said this, and I can call Splinter later when we're done with this and find out the truth. But Donald Trump's once again says Splinter said you turn down multiple hits, but you get a pass through to favoritism. Splinter,
what?
He said Splinter said you turn down multiple hits, but you get a pass due to favoritism. He spelled it G-I-T, by the way.
You get a pass due to favor. In other words, I said no, I'm not going to make that hit.
Yeah, either way, or you're not getting hit because you're a favorite. So it could go either way.
I mean, look, but I'm not going to say no on this or that, or that the reason why I'm not getting hit or why any of this is happening or anything, right? I have got hit. I took helicopter rides, brother. I've been in the war, man. Let me tell you something. You get in them feds in the United States penitentiaries, they show you what violence looks like, you know, and you don't come out of that unscarred. You just don't. Man. That's a fucking place for warriors. And if you're a warrior, you're not coming out. And I took 2 helicopter rides in my time. Enjoyed them both because I came through the other end of life. But yeah, the reason I'm not getting hit or this and that is because I'm the favorite. Well, okay, thank you. It means I'm doing something right, you know, and I'm glad I'm not getting hit this time, you know. And I have put my fucking work in, my whole goddamn destructive and disjointed life, and I'm tired, brother. I'm tired, and I want to help dudes get out of prison now. I do, and someone addressed me and said that they were sitting on their toilet, right, and they could make these certificates up for these dudes right there, you know, and that's cool. And I'm gonna go ahead and talk to, huh? Oh yeah. So, you know, they said that I could, you know, they could make these up, but look, there's some things about mine that make them different. Number one, this Universal Life Skills program, that's my program. Okay, you can't put that on there; it's not your program. All right. Number two, this guy Brian Sebron, right? He's in Lancaster right now, and so is Julio Garcia, you know, and so is Jonathan Morales. These guys are all Eddie Lona. These guys are all in Lancaster right now, right? And you can't put their names on them because you don't even know if they earned them. I know they earned them because they're in my program. And I got Frankie Gillette, the one that put AB Turtle in the wheelchair for the rest of his life. He's the one that facilitates it and tells me these guys did their denial management. Another thing is too is that you can't sign them with a signature that holds any weight. Mine holds weight with the CRM, with the warden, and with Sacramento. And in all the prisons that my program is in, it holds weight. So you cannot sit on your toilet and make one of these. Not only that, the difference between this and the one that you would make on your toilet, which is just going to be a good thing to wipe your ass with, mine go into files. And what happens is, along with these certificates that are in their files, these guys are writing in this book, right? They're writing in it. They're writing their answers, their problems, how they deal with stuff, co-occurring disorders, the whole 9 yards. So this is a workbook. This is to be written in. So these certificates go in the file, and these books go to their lawyers. The board members now, they don't have to ask themselves what this dude do to get this book, to get this certificate. Did he earn it? Did he buy it? Did he send his homie in to do the work? They got the book right in front of them, and they can open it up and they could take a look at anger management and see what he did, how he dealt with his anger, and how it changed from the beginning to the end. Look at denial management and see how he dealt with the river of denial. And yeah, I did write this book. I took some psychology courses. I only did a little bit, but I took them. I went to college for it, and I had a 4.0. I can put that on the screen too, on the dean's list, and I'm very proud of that. And now I'm giving back, brother, because I have taken from society so fucking much. And when I say taken from society, every time I co-signed somebody getting hit, every time a kite came out of the hole for me to have somebody whacked, and I made that happen, I never looked past the incident itself. I never looked to the fact that this guy's probably got a kid on the streets who's brokenhearted now. I never looked past the fact that this guy's wife is out there, his mother, his father, his sister, his brother. I never took any of that ripple effect into account. So I'm sitting in there doing stupid shit for what somebody told me was stupid prizes. And I believe you, you're right. I did stupid shit for stupid prizes. And never taken into account that what I was doing to people on the streets and how far reaching that is. You get somebody whacked, and it goes for generations, especially if that person dies. You just affected everybody that knows that guy for generations. And I never took that into account before until recently, and I have a lot to atone for. That's why I do the nonprofit. That's why I keep it 100. That's why I go in there and try to help people, because I want more people coming out that would rather get out here and atone for what they did, because we can do this, man. We can make a difference in society. There is a lot of leaders in prison, and I don't care. The whole thing about putting the thing up there on Homeboy being SNY, that had to do with all the other stuff he does. It had very little to do with the fact that he's SNY. I don't care. I don't tell CDCR I'm going to bring my program here. No, they tell me, hey, we'll let you on this yard. It's SNY. You don't get to pick and choose who comes into your program. So I quit caring about any of that. And there's maybe 4 or 5 main lines left in California, GP lines left in California now. And the rest are what they're calling 50-50. And people say, no, there ain't no 50-50 yard, because once you stay on that yard, you're in the hat. But that's not really the case anymore. Those guys are realizing that the way home is through them yards, and they're telling some of their dudes to go ahead and stay over there and keep to your own people, keep to your good people, and try to get out. And like I told you, they were going to catch up with it eventually. And so now you do have these true 50-50 yards that didn't once exist, and they're not putting dudes in the hat. Not only that, you can buy yourself out of the hat now for $500. Yeah, it's down to 500. You know what I mean? So I mean, everything's watered down, man. Everything's watered down. Everything's different. CDCR's got a handle on all these tips and everything's going on. They have figured it all out.
Okay, Tony, I'm playing again. Thanks for the donations. Do you have any Bobby Lost, aka Boss Lost stories? Rest in peace from the Northtown, New York, East Bay, SF Bay area.
I don't. That's why I don't. Oh, and here's another thing too that people need to realize. Okay, so I had a C5 number, all right, and I was in for the 80s. Well, what happened was in 2000, 2009, it was 2000. In 2000, I went to the feds, all right, and I didn't come back to California, to the state, until 2015. So in 2015, I came back. So all that stuff that happened between 2000 and 2015, I was in the feds for it, which is an entirely different animal, you know. And then I came back in 2015, and that's when I got married. My wife told me, "Hey, you need to do the next right thing, or this ain't happening with us." And so my deal was this: I promised her the next right thing, right? And then I found out that, and I was landing drones in Lancaster. I had all that shit going on, and I had to cut all that loose. And she said, "I got you." And cut all that loose, and I got you. So I did. Walked away from all of it, man. And then it started to feel good helping people. Got to facilitate my first group, and I liked it. Started going to school and wrote the books. I got to Soledad, and I was told, "Hey, man, why don't you open up a program here for us because they could see I could write them. So I did. I wrote the program. I wrote the book, and a sergeant told me, "Hey," I said, "Hey, look, I got this book on this computer you guys let me work on, but I need to get it out." He said, "Put it on the thumb drive, bring it to me, and I'll email it to your wife." Bam. So he emailed that to my wife. We got it published. Then I did another one. You can be a victim of domestic abuse and not even know. And it is true. Domestic difference between domestic violence and domestic abuse, right? Domestic abuse being psychological, violence being physical. And it's a workbook for relationships for dudes and their chicks to pass back and forth. At the end of the day, it's all about communication. So I wrote that one in there too, and it got published and put out. So I also wrote a third one, and I'm writing another one right now as we speak. But in any event, yeah. So the more I changed, the more I liked it, the better I felt. The better I felt, the more I wanted to change because I knew I'd like it more.
It's a better way of living.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Nacho Libre, what presence does the NLR have in Arizona?
I'll tell you about the NLR. Excuse me, I have a wild hair in my nose. I'll tell you about the NLR in Arizona. No. That's just fucking hair growing up. Gets to tickling. Arizona. Okay, so there were a few riders in Arizona. All right, and what happened was the Arizona AB come out and they told the ride not to recruit. If they were cool there, they were cool on that yard. They were cool to do everything right. NLR being from California and in Arizona prison, just don't recruit. Well, the ride didn't listen to that and started recruiting, and it went bad. I mean, they got on them. The whole fucking yard got on them, and they ended up with their own unit and this and that. And there is there is riders in Arizona. I mean, they're there, you know. But that's what happened on the prison yard, right there. When they were told that, and they should have respected it. You're in another prison, you start recruiting. While there's other prisons, there's gangs that are from that area there. And they ask you, hey, you can stay on this line, do everything, work with us and all that. Just don't recruit. And you start recruiting anyway after you tell them that you're not going to. You know what? If it goes bad, it goes bad. Look, I don't always, I mean, there's been times when I've like when Wicked stabbed Pete LaFontaine, okay? Me and Gangster both. I mean, he told me this just the other day that he said that's personal, you know, because a lot of riders wanted to hit him in Chino, right? And ironically, when I had the East Yard, there was some conflict with the heads and the NLR, right? So what I did was I moved that sadistic skin junior into my cell. And I gave the keys to all the tops of the buildings to the skinheads, and I gave the keys to all the bottoms of the buildings to the riders. And I hit 2 child molesters that came on that yard personally myself without asking anybody to take care of business, and I got away with it. And they the heads came to me and said, Ronnie, you should stop doing all that. You got our muscle anytime you need it. I just told them, I want you guys to know, I ain't asking anybody to do nothing I ain't going to do myself. Period. They go, we know that. Stop doing it. Okay, that was cool. So then Wicked's there, and when he gets there, he's standing out there in a group of skinheads. So I walked right up in the middle of him and gave him a hug because P. LaFontaine had robbed his parents and his aunt for dough. Pete's a big dude. He's a big writer. Okay, I mean, at some point, if he ever gets a hold of Wicked, he'll take him apart and put him back different, back together. Funny, right? Legs where the arms go and all that. And but that's between them two. Wicked tricked him, told him how cool it was, got a ride home, got out of the car, came back over to the other side like he was going to hug him, reached in and just stabbed the living shit out of Pete, almost killed him. And that was that. But you know what? I figured that, you know, Pete got caught slipping, man. And that was one time that I told one of my comrades, you're on your own, Seth. You know, that's just the way it was. That's personal beef. But, you know, and I also told Wicked, if that dude ever gets his hands on you, it don't end good. Anyway.
So Ronald Moore is asking, you know, Nasty Gerald Whitner.
Nasty Gerald Whitner? I know a Nasty. Oh, also, we are getting ready to do an interview with the P9, one of the original members of P9.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, and he's active. You know, it's a weird trip. It's a weird dichotomy. There's a lot of active P9 out on the streets right now. They're owning businesses and doing good, you know. And I want to have one of them on here, and we're going to talk. I think I want to wait to do that in person and have him right here, chop it up with him.
Canyon Torrens is asking how you doing today, brother.
I'm doing well, brother. I hope you are too, man. I don't know what happened to our phone call, man. That dude was supposed to call in, but you know what?
Yeah.
They don't always turn the phones on like they're supposed to
Yeah.
and doing all of that. But I wanted to give them an opportunity to respond. But you know,
It was saying if you're going to BC, not sure what he's asking.
going to where?
BC, this Vacaville, maybe.
Vacaville,
Maybe. Ask him. I'm not
Victorville.
sure.
I don't know. Vacaville, Victorville. I mean, oh, and you know, I got told too that another way that I should, people want to see about my nonprofit. I got footage of me passing out checks. I just spent 7,000, and yeah, I just I was on TikTok. I put it out. Yeah, but I just spent $7,000, my own fucking money, and that came off of. Let me see here. I mean, because these are all credit cards, fellas. All right. One of these days, maybe we'll get together and do something on. We'll do something on trade lines and all that, and how to build your credit quickly. Yeah. Right. So, anyways, that is the $9,000 credit card, and I took with me on my trip. It had zero money on it. It's got $2,000 left that I can. Matter of fact, I just got approved for another $1,500 one last night, but it's got $2,000 left on it. So now I have to take another one because when you get your credit cards over a third of what their max is, it starts to hit your credit. And I've only been out 16 months. I ran my stuff up because this trader bought my name, things about I ran my credit up to 750 and started taking care of business. I did that with buying trade lines, and I'll do a show on that once on how people can get out of prison, whether they've been down so long, they got this blank straight, and I'll do a deal on how they can build their credit up and everything. Because I'm getting ready to do it with the friend I'm picking up in Delano.
Okay. And then Lacking Hat Inches just says hello.
Yeah, right.
Plant-based says saludo to you, Ronnie. And here, Steve McKay, here you go. If you're going to Vacaville, come 10 minutes down the road to Vallejo, and I'll buy you a cup of coffee, brother.
Right on. I'm glad that went there because yeah, I'm glad that went there with him. I would love to do that.
Yeah. Okay, so Herb, the 916, the Donnie stuff, in my opinion, is kind of overinflated. I saw many Donnie streams. He was having a good time, and it wasn't really disrespectful. He was having a good time because he didn't understand what was going on.
I mean,
that's why.
Yeah, but here's the thing too, right? Is that maybe I'm reading too much into it, and maybe they were having a good time in cloud. But there is one thing: the whole thing about the shoes that came up missing, and him asking for them, and his mom getting on there. I mean, I'm not going to put on my fucking Inspector Crusoe hat and get to digging into it too much. Here's what I'm going to do: I'm going to get Donnie a pair of Air Jordans, and I'm going to make sure that kid gets them, and that's that. And it doesn't matter if he was having fun or not, or this and that. I mean, yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not really out to look. I had the little dispute with Dubs and all that. I don't like the things I've heard. If I find out I'm wrong, I'll be the first to get up here and apologize to the motherfuckers. I own my shit. I'm not always right. When I'm wrong, I own it. But I don't own nothing when I'm right. I'm not going to own anything when I'm fucking right. And if they're stealing from that mentally ill kid, I'm not going to. Yeah, I mean, there's a place to draw the line. See, Dubs strikes me when I've seen his videos.
When he's away from Gunner, he's a good.
I've seen it. That's the whole thing is that I've seen his sober solo videos, and it's a different thing. I did not like the ride, but he has since told Gangster, who's conveyed to me that they were in Folsom together, and he said that straight out that we might have took it wrong, the whole thing about the ride, that or he put it out there wrong. Whatever it is, there needed to be some clarity because, I mean, people have given their life for that kid. Say, hey, you know what, you gave your life and you weren't a factor. Yeah, you know, whatever. I'm getting ready to get over and get past it because there's bigger and better things to do, man.
We're a positive.
Yeah, there's bigger and better things to do, and we are trying to. And I would like to be a mostly positive channel. Okay, I will throw some negative stuff out there because there's a portion of this audience that likes that stuff, and so if it's stuff that you don't like, I ask you not to watch it. And I'm going to try. And I never know from day to day what the content's going to be. I just shoot from the hip. And there's no script to the interviews. I just sit down and I tell a guest, hey, we're not going to lay nothing out. If I ask you a question you don't like, don't answer. You know, pivot, do something else. We'll go there together.
Slytherin 82 again. He's asking, how was it for the writers locked in the hole with the big homies when Snake came out on that Fox undercover report?
I don't look. I don't know what happened on the Fox undercover report. I don't know the whole deal on it. Yeah, I know that Fox was in Chino for a solid week, and it was so. Here's the way it works with these fucking news crews, right? Before when they're getting ready to hand down a fucking RICO, it's almost like the FBI gets in touch with the news and tells them to start dirtying up the tip. All right. The ride was in no way organized before the FBI organized us. It's just we were when they said we were getting hit with a RICO, I thought it was a fucking DICO for disorganized crime because we were so big that there were pockets of organization that would come together and do their get down, and then they'd spread out and do whatever they wanted again. And a lot of riders, when the structure and everything, fucking, they didn't want that. They didn't want that structure. They didn't want somebody being able to reach out and tell them, hey, put this in your butt and report. They didn't want to do all. They liked being able to do what they wanted to do when they got out, whatnot. And when they came in, yeah, they stepped up to the line. They did what they had to do and whatnot. But when they got out, they wanted to be able to do what they wanted to do out there, And then so all this structure started coming down and everything. And yeah, and the riders did. It was such a storm of fucking shit hit the fan. It was just such a storm of everything at one time, and it was a hard hit. Yeah, it was a hard hit.
Tony Enclave once again hit us another $2.99 donation. So thank you, Tony.
Right on, Tony. Thank you, brother.
And we'll get to this question after this. Donald Trump is asking, Eastern District of the FBI is currently working on an indictment on the Cocoa County Woods. Do you feel it's a good thing to get those criminals off the streets?
I'm not going to speak that because then I would be saying, yeah, I want an individual locked up. I don't like to see anybody go to jail. But I'm going to be honest with you right here with my homeboy who just went in, the one I'm picking up, right? And I've told him, I'm kind of glad this happened with you, bro, because you were killing yourself with drugs. He's clean now. He's sober. He's got his head on right. This whole deal. And he went to prison for something he didn't do. He pled out for it because he would spend more time fighting it than he would have done if he just went to prison. So he went and raised his hand, went to prison for something he didn't do. And I just told him straight out, brother, I'm glad. I'm glad you're there getting your shit together, getting your head together. And he's lined up to do a good thing when I pick him up. I'm picking him up to make sure that he doesn't walk out of that parking lot and step into the spoon. I'm going to bird dog that whole thing. So I can't speak on the individuals and everything that goes on. I'm sure there's some people that belong in prison, and I'm sure there's other people that need a little dose of time out and whatnot. So I'm not going to speak on what I like to see Cocoa County people go to prison because I don't really like to see anybody. But I would like to see this. If they do go to prison, I would like to see them do something positive with it.
Okay, and Tony Enclave, I was in the ADC system, Arizona Department of Corrections, system from 95 to 2000. Eugene Long brought me into the fold. Boss Wass got slammed down for the first time in 1988-89. We were in high school for involuntary murder. I don't know what the high school for involuntary, the high school is. Sometimes typos happen, but
yeah,
you were saying you got slammed down at ADC.
Might have been reform school or something like that. It's that I don't know. It's but yeah. So they were there. Arizona, the rides in Arizona, as far as the feds go, the rides everywhere in the feds.
Yeah.
Okay. True story. I get out of Leavenworth, right? I know I got this California warrant, right, for home invasion, and I'm in Leavenworth. I'm getting out. I went to the feds for 25 pounds of meth, right? And my brother-in-law in Hawaii, who's coming up here, I guess his drops Wednesday. He drops Wednesday, and you'll see his get down. So I'm in there for 25 pounds of meth. I've done my time, getting out of the feds, and they lead me to believe I'm going home with that somehow this warrant's fucking, they're not really paying attention to it. Whatever's going on, it's in the mix, been lost in the shuffle. I might parole. So I got my football jersey on. I got my shower. I'm feeling good. I step out of the steps of Leavenworth, and they let me. And here's why they did it. They let me walk down them steps. The minute my foot hit that fucking sidewalk, the sheriffs were there and they grabbed me, and that broke my fucking federal time from my state time. And the state at that point for a while didn't give me credit for my federal time. They burnt me for all that fucking time I had, and it hit me with a 28 years bow-legged to the 15 I had just done. And but I go to the county jail there in Leavenworth, and I'm in the county jail, and you know, there's a couple black dudes there from fucking California, and they're pressing these white dudes after commissary and whatnot. And I don't like it, man. I'm not going to do time like that. There's some oldness there, but they're just doing their thing. And they got the little guy that looks like he's calling shots. And I tell him, hey, brother, do me a favor. Get all the white dudes in. They have big cells. Get all the white dudes in this cell after lunch here. I want to talk to them. So we get in the cell, and I tell them, hey, brothers, here's the thing, right? If you guys will just fight, if you'll just fight, we got more numbers. We can overwhelm them. We'll stop this whole canteen trip right now, and I'll get out there and I'll serve notice that from now on we're locking it down. And they all agreed that they would go out there and be whatever cannon fodder. I mean, one of the Crips that were doing it probably take on 20 of them dudes, but like I said, we could overwhelm them. I knew it. So I went to them, and there's a couple of them, and I said, here's the deal, guys, and you knew this was coming. After store now, you take some guy's fucking commissary, we're shutting this motherfucker down. And we're going to do it every goddamn time. And they just told me, all right, Ron, we were just doing that because they let us. And that's a true story. So the Odinists were looking at me, and later on, a couple days later, they tell me, hey, can I holler at you? And I go in there, and they said, look, in Kansas, our religion is our game. And we want to separate that. We'd like to be writers. I tell them, okay. You know, I mean, there is no putting you on account in California or anything like that. Just switch the guys that are Odinists that want to be the riders with it and flip the whole car like that and do it like that, man. And they go, okay, what's our bylaw? And I was honest with them. That's the beauty of the ride. Make them up. Put it together how you fucking want. It's your tip. And there was all of Kansas in that jail. It's flipped. They got riders in there now, but they got them in Florida. They got them in Missouri. They got in LR every fucking where because that's how it works. The feds RICO Act you go to the feds, you're around all these other states and everything, and you're recruiting. But they're not the only ones. SAC is recruiting. Dirty White Boys are recruiting. Everybody's in there recruiting, right? And it all spreads. So they took the ride, which was confined to basically in California and some people in Arizona, and they moved it to the feds, and that's when it becomes a virus. And that's for all the kids.
And then we got the SAC interview dropping.
Oh, yeah, SAC is dropping tomorrow. The dude from SAC that he killed a child molester in Bloody Beaumont. I know for a fact because I know him. And he went to ADX, all right? And it'll be a good one. He went to ADX. We'll learn a little about ADX and all that. He's out now. We'll learn a little bit about how he found his way back into freedom.
Raider Mike is asking, do you ever do time with whiskey or kazoo from P9?
I know whiskey from Peanut. Yeah. And yes, I have done time. I've known him since he was a kid. Yeah. Whiskey real well. I thought he was out of Bakersfield. No, but yeah, I know whiskey. Yeah.
OG Bigfoot Diaries. Hey, Ronnie. Hey, does Ronnie know a Stephen Dalton from Oroville, California also NLR?
Not sure. Not sure. There's a lot of riders, but I've done so much time, regrettably so, that I just can't fathom that there's a rider that I don't know on some level, you know.
And the fan base is saying we need that dude. It's coming.
What's that?
They were asking about the video from Hawaii and a few things earlier.
Oh, yeah.
We mentioned it, so I'm not sure which video, but they're coming.
You know, I'll share a little political stuff that I'm involved with right now. Okay. So my brother-in-law, he's direct descendant from, I guess, King Kamehameha. And he's got a lot of land there on Maui, where they just had the fires. Yeah, he's got a shit ton. Well, there's a thing about Maui. It's one of the few places in the world where sandalwood grows. And his land is freaking flooded with it. So he sent me this stuff right here. I'm going to have it tested. We're going to test the purity of it because this is supposed to be the. Okay, so this is the bark. We're going to get that tested from the sandalwood, and smells good. And then this is all powder from different parts of the tree itself, right? And the thing about sandalwood, Big Pharma is keeping him from being able to harvest it on his land because no, they won't let him bring it to market, and Big Pharma and all that stopping him and whatnot because sandalwood's known for curing cancer and a lot of other stuff as well. And I'd be goddamn if I'm going to sit back and let that happen, where they keep these Hawaiian people stuck to the fucking dirt, unable to use their land and their trees and all of that to make good for their own people on their own island. But anyways, I'm all involved in that right now. So if I suddenly vanish, the government and Big Pharma did it.
Everybody slithering 82, man. He's backing up what you're saying, man, on that personal trip in Chino. He was robbing everybody in Orange County.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. He was. He has a big boy too, man. So he was pressing with his size, no doubt.
Hey, Lavery, again, thanks for the donation. Ronnie, thanks for sharing. See, when you're telling your testimony and you've seen past the gangs, now you're immune from others putting any sort of bullshit jacket on you. You've laid it all out, bro.
Oh yeah, it's all there. I mean, I am who I am, right? And I'm never going to step outside of myself. And who I am right now, and I'll be straight up, man, is a guy that owes society a lot, and I fucking know it, man. And here's the thing, right? I let the indoctrination turn me into a fucking monster and make me numb to stuff. And it wasn't until day before yesterday, putting that dog down, that I realized that I'm not that guy no more. I was very affected by it, and that's a good thing to be that affected by it. It proves that I'm human,
Not sure if it's Elmatic Gomez, but Matic shout out to Lakewood.
Right on.
And then he also says, I met a good ride in that area. Well, that's where you're from. So
hey, Lily White Lakewood is what they used to call it. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. And then Raymond Mike's asking, were you involved in the PBB?
I went to the feds. So in 2000, so if you do the timeline, I just missed it. In fact, the only part of the whole FTB. Oh, well, I will tell you this too. I mean, Wigmo's name comes up a lot, right? And fucking, I'm in Ironwood. I'm on the line. I am Chaos. All right, Estafillo. He's out of South Bay, and Chaos was in the. Okay, you see it all the time when Ricky Thorpe got out, pulled the guns out, pushed the cop, pulled the guns out, and got smoked, and all of that. Well, Estafillo, Chaos was my cellie at the time. He was in the car because Ricky Thorpe told him, "Hey, brother, just stay right here." And Ricky Thorpe was having odds with his girlfriend, and he was just going to end it, suicide by cop thing. And so, anyways, I'm set up with him with Estafillo, Chaos, and a kite comes out that they want me back in the hole, right? Now, what's been going on? Wigmo's got the keys back there, and Zach's his celly, but Bumper's there, Sickness is there, Sammy is there, all the riders are there. The only one who knows me personally from the streets of my whole life is Sammy, and Sammy tells them what they've been doing was calling people back, getting on them, and if they stayed and pushed through it, they were staying with the ride. If not, they were down on death row right there for the ride, right? They were PC'd up and they were themselves, right? So I get called back there, bam, and it's Wigmo is jealous over Spun Duck. Spun Duck, in IE, right? Fontana in that area. She's just being the switchboard operator for the ride. And then Joseph Lauer Blue tells me here's the number, Spun Duck here. So I'm calling her and we're doing this thing, and I don't know that's Wigmo's fucking girlfriend. I don't even care. But he gets wind that I'm calling and we're switchboarding all this stuff, and he gets in his feelings about it and calls me back. So I get into it with him and Zach on the yard right there. And Wigmo was accused later on of starting FTB. So I get into it with him and Zach. I go to the next yard, and Scotty from P9's on there. Well, I get on him anyways because he's got some sick shit on him. I get on him. His celly jumps in. They end up knocking his celly's eye out for jumping in. I had to fight both them dudes. get to another yard, get off on a couple dudes, and then I hit this dude Moss Man that the ride wanted, and they just told me that's it. You're on walk alone. And so all this is going on. So the whole FTP that I knew that if the Wigmo ended up getting smashed about month, 2 months after that, he gets smashed out on the rider yard, right? And I think it might have had to been for that. I think that Bumper might have had that done because Bumper had aspirations. And then in Chino, when me and Maurice were there, and it was all getting thrown around, the whole FTV thing, right? I wasn't with it and anything. I was about this. If you're going to do something and you're going to break away from them dudes, there's a way. There's a way to do it without really disrespecting. You know what I mean? And I already knew. And just like I told everybody who was talking about it, I told them straight out, those dudes will outthink us. You know, I could put 10 riders on every brand member that there was and still have fucking change. But if you're allowed to talk to them dudes and they're allowed to talk to you, it's game over. And they're going to love it because they study how to do it. They know how to do it. And they're good at it.
And then VRG, what do you think about this Hoover indictment? I'm sure what the Hoovers are going through right now, but you might.
It's the same thing with all tips, man. And here's what's going to happen. They're going to turn them. They're going to turn people. You're going to have your solid dudes getting told on by a large portion of the tips. If they don't have snitches, they don't ever have a case, right? And that's how it's going to go down. They're going to have rats, and there's nothing can be done. They already, if the indictments come down, they already got you. You know, that's it. I mean, they already got you. Now the feds work like this. They'll come and offer you a deal one time. If you don't take it, it's all bad. And they convict you, it's all bad. And they can convict a ham sandwich, so they say.
So this guy, Eldon Knudsen, one thing I never understood about you guys is your names. But I guess that's because you're used to telling, back in the 80s, you guys had to lock it up coming out of youth authority. Well, they were making waves in the 80s, man.
Yeah, so what do you do? How do you respond to something like that? There's
but
nothing to be said about what you're saying because, first of all, it ain't real. It's not reality. You're in your feelings about something. I would imagine maybe you got hit by a rider, maybe you got banged out, or maybe you're in Dub's hip pocket. I don't know. There could be a lot of reasons somebody would come on and speak an untruth like that. But I mean, it's there. It's been read. Yeah. No, we'll read it, you know, but all this had to lock it up in the 80s and all of that. Anybody who was around in the 80s, they know better. But I will tell you this, okay, and this is in all honesty, all right? The brand, okay, did not let other tips exist in California, all right? In San Quentin, way back in the day, they still have blood out. In San Quentin, man, a biker gang formed, okay? They went out to the yard, they went to the iron pile, they did all this on the upper yard, and they tell the brand, they say, hey, you know what, we figure, and they're on the brand's iron, and they figure they got enough muscle to do this, and they say, we figure that we could split this iron right here, right? So the fellas say, yeah, you guys work out in the morning with it, and we'll work out it in the afternoon, and that's how we'll do it. We'll split it like that, right? They weren't going to split nothing but them dudes' heads, all right? So there's this tip thinking they can do that. So Baby Dave Elliott and all of them, Baby Dave killed the dude on the weights, told him you can't do 12 quarters. And they racked him 6 on each side, dude put it on his chest. The minute it hit his chest, the knife hit his chest at the same time. And he just butchered him. And at that point, they hit all them dudes everywhere. And they got all them dudes, killed all them dudes, but one, his name was Bobby, and he plays the guitar now, and he's a Jehovah Witness. I guess he had to join something that had the word witness in it because he's seen that go down. But then there was another tip. Anybody from Orange County knows this Dennis Howie, all right? And this tip was called The Host. Dennis Howie, you know, fucking punk. I mean, they got a lot of dudes. They murdered a lot of dudes from The Host because no white gang was going to exist in California as long as the brand was out and had everything. But Dennis Howie, he stabbed them dudes one for one. They stabbed him, he stabbed them. And one thing they'll always tell you is they respected Dennis Howie in The Host. And he was a low rider out, man. Suit wearing the whole 9 yards. Yeah, I mean, that's just Dennis, man. So, and he was a good, solid dude, and out of Orange County. But so the brand did that. So if in the 80s even though the riders weren't a gang yet, they were still just a fad coming out of YA into the prison system. So why would they make, oh, you low ride, you gotta lock it up.
And then King Duna, whatever happened to Hot Rod?
Hot Rod. There's a bell.
No, Hot Rod.
Dude, yeah, I do know Hot Rod. I'm trying to picture in my mind. Man. I don't know. A lot of riders checked in and left. They just left. And more power to them, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? Because I mean, if dudes left the ride and they want to get out, they want to do good. I support that, but I don't think you have to leave the ride to do it. You know, nobody dictates that fucking behavior. You don't have to adopt the prison mentality to be a rider. We're back to being the fad, the thing we wanted to be, the thing that makes us feel good. That whole culture right there, that whole lowrider culture, that's our thing, man. That's what it was all about. And that's what it's still about. Oh, we're just getting back to who we were, back to our fucking nexus on how we started, how we began before it got all fucked up with prison.
Michael Gallus. Hey, Ronnie, ever see Powder? I think Powder is the cat, the P9 cat.
Yes. I seen Powder in. I think the last time I've seen him was in Madrone, and there was things going on with Spinner and Powder was there. There was a group of P9 there, and what was happening was the P9 in the back would send the kite. I had the keys to the line, and they would send the kite out to me to have these P9 hit. Fucking riders, man. And I'm having these fucking dudes hit that these guys got in the hat. And P9, the dudes that are out there, Spinner and all of them are looking at me. And I got a kite to hit a dude one day, and I already got one dude getting hit for him, and I got a kite to hit another one. So as soon as this dude gets hit, we're squatting against the fence, and Spinner looks at me and says, "Hey, are we at war?" I told him, "Nah, brother, we're not at war." He goes, "It sure feels like it. These fucking riders hitting heads, some of ours." I told him, "I'm going to come see you when we go in." And I brought that kite to him, and I explained to him, because I wasn't going to set this whole yard off with the heads and the ride and all of that over them dudes in the back, not trusting their own to get this done. And I just brought it to him. I told him, "Hey, here it is, homie. This guy's up to get hit, you know, and if we make this hit, I already know it's going to set us against each other out here. And the dudes in the back don't want to get at you because they don't think they think it'll turn all political and you won't hit these dudes." And Spinner reached over and took it, and they told me, "We'll take care of the business. This is ours." And they handled it. You know what I mean? And that was the last time I seen him.
King Duna says respect to my buddy Steve-O and Barney. Barney.
I think Steve-O was in. He's up there in. Was up there in Mule Creek. Not sure where he's at now, but yeah.
Nacho Libre. The Cali inmates tried to do their own thing in AZ as well, like NLR, and started a huge war for 50 years. Later, they're partners in the feds. That's weird. That's how, yeah.
Yeah, because yeah. I mean,
New Mexico, yeah.
Yeah, they are. I mean, the MA's in the feds, right? You got Texas MA, you got all that, and you know that they got it together in the feds, and they have to be because the feds is a weird animal. Every gang in the nation's there, you know. When Big Mark and Terry Sack got tired of their shit, Big Mark and Terry were sent down to fucking Victorville to do one thing: unite all the white gangs. Okay? Yeah, and they got down there and they did everything wrong. They were throwing bottles on dudes, having them rolled up to the hole if they came back dirty, sitting in the fucking squad's room and all this shit, doing things. I mean, this is well known. This is well known shit. They ended up cutting Ghost Head off there. All this fucking shit going on in Victorville, and they were supposed to unite it, right? And at that point, the ride was backing the brand pretty tough. And Sack went to get the fucking brand. And the riders jumped up and went after and got the Sack too. So it was a big old thing, right? And those two dudes, those two brand members didn't get got. Well, I'm on the yard with some Sack. I'm actually in the building with some Sack dudes. And they're not. They don't play. They handle their fucking business. I got lucky. Three of them came at me. They got the word first on what had went down. So they're coming at me. I don't even know. I don't even know why. But when they do come at me, they were so fucking drunk that I won. They had knives. I got lucky. That was my lucky day because if they weren't so drunk, I'd have took another helicopter ride. Who knows if we would have been having this channel right now. But I got lucky. You know what I mean? One of them's like, oh yeah, so now you're going to use your feet. And I keep challenging dude to the octagon for a reason because I know what's up. Right? So yeah, I did. I told him, you know what, you're right, and I kicked him right in the fucking mouth. And it was on, but they were drunk. You know, and that put it to me. And ironically, so left there and went to another joint after that. I ended up paroling from, but back to the inmate, paroling from Leavenworth when I got out, not paroling, but getting out from Leavenworth and going back to the state. And it lines up like this in the feds. You got the California tables, right? You got the Missouri tables, and it goes like that. You got the Italian tables, and next to the California tables is always the Serenos and the inmate tables. You know, they're all next to us, right? And so yeah, that's when and I had learned that there's a lot of MA from different states, you know, and there's just a lot of everything. You ain't on your fucking toes. It happens like it did with me, you know. It happens like it did with me because they got the word first. I don't take it personal. It's business, right?
I think the Texas, the Mexican MA, I think they're the only ones who are in a line. Like Arizona MA is a line, Washington MA with the California MA. But I think the Texas, they represent the fucking NF, I believe.
Yeah, there's some truth to that, I believe, too, and I'll tell you why. And I can't say for sure, but I was on the yard in Coleman 1, USP Coleman 1, and Smiley was there and Manny was there, okay? And they're in F, and the Texas inmate was in the building next to me, and they were there on the yard, too. So if they didn't get along, they wouldn't have been on that yard. Smiley and Manny ended up killing a dude in the chow hall and butchered him. They went to ADX, but yeah. So there's some truth to that.
And then Nacho Libre again, he said, I heard a story of the AZAB landing in Cali, and the Cali AB played him and whacked him. How do you use your kind of a line? Arizona, California brand. Well, there's only one brand, but
no, okay. So look, it isn't like people think in the feds. California can only walk a couple lines.
I think the Arizona AB landed in California State.
Oh yeah, in the state, yeah, they whack them. They don't, as far as they don't recognize no other AB. That's part of California brand's problem. Even though they went, like if you go to Hawaii, I mean go to Ohio AB, that started by Snow, and yeah, and Snow is from California, but he started that. California don't recognize Ohio AB. Ohio AB don't recognize California AB. Then same thing with Texas. It started by California AB. Texas and California AB bump heads. That's why when the ride in the feds, the word was this, okay, so apparently NLR and the feds are in Lewisburg, they're snatching cops at dinner time, they're hitting them through the tray slot, they're doing all of that. Apparently they got a kite from the AB that told them, hey, quit hitting cops. They had a meeting, they all got together in the feds, and they sent a kite back and told the fellas, hey, why don't you guys quit sucking dick and start hitting cops? Okay, so I'm in Leavenworth, and I'm over in, I'm on the 6th tier in the last cell, and I'm in A block, right? And in B block down there is fucking all the Texas AB. Now, when I hit Leavenworth, it was no gimme that I was going to stay on that fucking yard. There's one California dude there at the time, and he was heavily affiliated with HAs, but I never introduced myself to that dude. I'm fighting my way onto this fucking yard. And there's dudes now that can come on here and tell you. That's what I did. I touched down. And then so the Texas AB, because they don't get along with California AB, heard about what goes on with the ride and then getting on SAC and running with them. Get at me, right? They're at the table. They're going to hit me. I know I'm going to get hit. I already know it. I can feel it, right? And I'm talking to those dudes, and I want to stay on this yard. But I'm not going to get through this right here. I'm going to leave if they hit me. But in another joint in Terre Haute, this dude Sammy from Missouri that ran the Missouri car there, which was like 400 whites. When he was in Terre Haute, he was getting into it with the DC blacks in the unit. And out of everybody on that yard, I'm the one that ran up in there with a wooden knife. I ran up through that metal detector, ran in there, and I helped him. And so Sam, I'm hitting that yard, and Sammy knew that, right? Boom. So I'm at the table, and Sammy walks up. Now you got to think, at that point, the Texas AB had maybe 9 to 12 members there, right? That was it. Sammy had like 400 whites, right? And then the Iowa car, which was the next biggest, had about 200 whites, and that was ran by Andy. And so Sammy taps dude on the shoulder, tells him, "Let me sit down." Dude gets up, Sammy sits down, and he tells them, "Look, fellas, everybody knows what's going on here, and it's obvious what's getting ready to go down." He goes, "But you guys don't know the whole story." And he goes, "Here it is, man." He goes, "If he goes," and he points to me, he goes, "I go." He goes, "And if I go, Missouri goes. And if Missouri goes, Andy goes. And if Andy goes, Iowa goes." So now that all the cards are on the table, go ahead and finish this up. And he gets up and leaves. Needless to say, I stayed. It was all good. And you know what? I came around to liking those dudes, man. Texas AB, right? And so when this is how I know this is what happened, because when that all had the falling out in Lewisburg, I got called to their cell. So when I go into B, which is where most of the California guys were, and I had the California car then, I got the row of tables, I got our theater seats back and all of that. So when I go in, they're all the homies are lined up, and they're like, "You good, homie? What, you need us?" And they're all booted and suit. I said, "No, it's good, homie." And I walk in the cell, and there's all the Texas AB. They hand me a fucking letter. I'm reading it, right? I just start laughing. They go, "What do you make of that?" I said, "Yeah, well, it is what it is, right? The enemy of our enemy is our friend, I guess. I don't know." And that set it off in the feds. But the ride's pretty good size in the feds, man. And the feds are different than California. See, California, the brand says move, and everybody that's white moves. That's how it goes. They move that way, so they could turn. I mean, look, okay, so the Mongols, all right, they get into that trip with the big homies, right? Well, there's links because you got Guate and you got John who are crimies. So the Grejedas and the Stinsons, they're crimies. They're back and forth with each other, right? They move together. So when the Mongols had that thing going on, what happens is when they had all that going on, he gets it. I think somebody came to the door or something. I don't know. Oh, okay. So when they got that going on, all they do is lean over to John and whisper in his ear, "Hey, boom." So John turns every white dude on the line against the Mongols. Now those guys are going to get hit. Then at some point, it goes all the way across the board that all 1%ers that hit the lines there are going to get hit. Those dudes are forced to yards they don't want to go to because they can't fucking win. You're not going to fight that kind of power and win. You're not going to walk a main line in California and have every Mexican and every white dude on that fucking line gunning for you and think you're going to come out of it breathing. It's not going to happen. So do I look down on those dudes for going to those other yards and just surviving how they did? No, not for a minute. Not one bit.
Okay, Nacho Libre again asking, how well did you know Boxer Enriquez?
I know him real well. As a matter of fact, look, so they put me in Ironwood, and I'm over in the Central Medical, and he just sees me from another fucking tank right there. He's got a Rolex. I can't. From what I heard later, he got his own laptop in his cell and shit. But he looks at me and he goes, "Okay." I told him, "Hey, brother, I'm nothing to do with you. I'm not here to do with anything with you at all. And I'm just at this point, I'm just trying to do my thing and go home. I'm programming. I wrote the book. I wrote the programs. People, the prisons are adopting them and all that. But he ain't having it. He ain't buying it. The next morning, they rolled me up, packed my shit for me, put it in a van, sent me to Chino. They sent me all the way to the high desert. So he had that done just that quick, one night.
Jojo AZ saying, "Salute, homie. Discount."
Right.
David Sanders, do you know Ghost NLR? That's the cat from San Diego who was on all the MSNBC things, I believe. No,
So I'm not sure.
last name is Withers, David Withers, I believe, or Winters or something like that. Out of Dago.
I probably do. There's no way I can't. Yeah, there's no way I can't, brother, because I was on their reception center yard for a long time too, and I did a couple things there. I made a couple hits, right? That should have never been mine because I'm in San Diego. Right? Shit gets to me, you got to go through Orange County and everything else before it reaches my fucking neighborhood in LA. So I do a couple of hits anyways, and Thumper shows up and he's telling them dudes, hey man, so this is how it's going down, right? So Thumper, there's a dude that's escorting the blind dude needs to be hit, and all these dudes are hee hawing, they don't want to really do it, and Thumper says, man, I'll do it. I told him I'll go with you. So we went and did this, left the blind man in the middle of the yard. Hey, what? Somebody had to go get him escorted. But so in any event, Thumper tells all these dudes, man, it should have never fallen on Lakewood to do it, man. He tells them from now on, now in San Diego, anybody that knows how the reception center was, the whites there were taxing the whites when they went to the store. They were taxing. And he was telling them, you bring these bags of groceries right here over to Ronnie's cell every time. And it was hitting there. And Turtle, the one that ended up hitting Junior later on, was my cellie at the time. He told me long after I left, them groceries were hitting the door.
And then JoJo AZ again. So he's asking, can an NLR choose to run with the Woods? No, they already run with the Woods, right?
Well,
but they're their own thing.
And I don't. It's okay. So Skip, he's dead now. This is I like this dude, but so no story about Leavenworth. Skip from California, from San Diego. He challenges me one day and says, "You're in LR. You're not from California." I nutted up on that dude, man. Yeah, I nutted up on it, man. He was trying to buck the. He was like, he's going to go ahead and take the car. He's going to. No, it didn't happen. I held the car, and what I did was this, because it's a weird dichotomy, because the Woods are doing one thing, Lars doing another. So I had to keep the gang stuff separate from the California stuff. And I would tell those dudes, man, and anybody who was there with me, Honky and him will tell you. And Honky's out right now too. There's several of them that are out right now doing good. And they'll tell you that when it came to gang stuff, I would tell them, no, this is me. It had to do with the politics of the gangs. California stuff, we did as California car. And that's how that went down. Later on, it turned out that Skip had a cellie that was it turned out the dude was a head, or claimed to be anyway, but it turned out he was a child molester, sex offender. Skip didn't know this. And he's around some skinheads in the chow hall before they're, when they work in the chow hall, and it comes up that they're going to hit this fucking child molester that was a skinhead. Skip don't really do the math that that's his cellie. His cellie's been there so long, and they all talk to him like he's such a good dude. Skip goes back and tells his cellie, yeah, they're getting ready to hit this skinhead that's a child. His cellie checks in. So all the heads are getting the California car that we got to move on. Skip. No, we don't. We ain't moving on that, dude. Period. I am not gonna. We're not eating our own for a fucking mistake. And even though I didn't like the dude for having bumped on me like that, it wasn't gonna happen. And I drew the line on it. And the whole California guy said, we're not gonna hit Skip. We're not gonna do it. It's not gonna happen. We're not eating our own for a mistake. I'm gonna go talk to him. Right. So I went and had to talk to him, and it blew his mind that even though I didn't like him, I would do that. I ended up liking him. I ended up being real good friends with him, and all's well that ends well, I suppose. But they got that dude down the line somewhere else for sure.
That makes sense because they got the independents in the feds, right? Independent California and NLR.
Right. Well, and here's the thing too, right? So in the feds, if a gang fucks up the Woods, we'll all get together, the independents, and they will get that motherfucking tip off, and they'll just mass fucking move on it. Now, this has always struck me as odd because I see dudes that are on like TikTok and all that, and they're talking about how they were part of that get down. And it strikes me as odd that you're gonna wear that as a badge, but you may run across some gang member that's sitting there hearing this that got jumped and mobbed in the feds,
Yeah.
and he may make you his personal issue. I don't know. It ain't me. I ain't tripping. I mean, I had a pretty good report in McQuarrie before I got into it with the Aztecs and all of that. In McQuarrie, they weren't going to let me out right away, but I went out the gang squad and the captain and all that. Let me go out and talk to the dude that had the yard, and dude told me, yeah, come on out, right? So I'm out there on the fucking yard. I'm the only gang member on the yard for the white guys. The rest are all independents. The last group they mobbed was the Dirty White Boys, DWB. They got them on the yard, just mobbed them, right? And so I'm walking by one day, this orientation unit. I'm hearing people yelling to me out the fucking window, right? And I turn around, and it's Whip and all these dudes. They're all AC dudes, right? They're telling me, hey, Ronnie, get us out, man. Get us out. So I go over and I tell him, look, man, I'm going to go talk to this dude that's got the yard. I'm going to try to get you out, but I need your word, no bullshit. No fucking bullshit, right? And Whipping all them tell me, yeah, you got that, brother. We're not going to come out and do anything. So I went and spoke to the dude that had the yard and got him out. And then the next morning I hear all these fucking alarms going off, and they're getting jumped by because they went out there and started some shit.
Yeah, they put you in the. Did that backfire on you?
No.
Tyler's asking, is it true there was a California lawyer helping to fund the NLR in the early days?
Yes, we had lawyers not only helping to fund us, we also had lawyers that were looking up people's shit for us. Yeah.
Daryl Hall, he's asking, Ronnie, do you know a Mark Bauer? I met a couple NLR dudes from Upland, pretty cool OG type dudes.
Yeah.
You know?
And a lot of them dudes fall under Snake. Snake, I'm going to tell you right now, whatever's going on with him and the other stuff like that, Snake recruited a lot of dudes. That was his thing. He brought a lot of dudes in the IE.
They're all again. The Belo brothers too. I'm not sure they were NLR, but definitely with business.
Yeah, that whole area right there.
Yeah,
up in Fontana, that whole area right there is all. It's pretty rough area.
Patrick Phillips, so he's asking if you knew Mitch Smiley, who's got the channel Hard Intentions. He's from San Diego. He gave back his life sentence after 40 years, 35 years.
I don't know.
We'll get you two together.
Yeah, somebody. That's why I recognize.
Yeah, Mitch Smiley.
Yeah, because somebody said something about us getting together on that.
Yeah. And then Sweater and Nate too again. Yeah, but the Hoovers are going down for turning out underage girls. Pretty foul. I don't know, bro. So.
I mean, okay, so look. I mean, that's a thing. There's books out on how these guys do this, right? And they do it. You know, I mean, it's you go to Vegas, they got 7 tracks. Okay, they got 7 tracks where hookers are working the streets right there. And then you go into casinos, you got a different level, get down and all of that. But it's full of hookers in there too. And they do stings in there. But when you see a chick getting hit in Vegas in a casino on a sting, it's because, so here's the way it works, right? And I had a couple women that way doing that. And that was their choice. I mean, they weren't young or nothing like that. They just did what they did. But those women that are in there turning tricks, they're sitting at the bar and stuff, and the bartender, he gets the people that have the money or just hit big money and all that. He's the one that sets that up a lot with them hookers. And them hoes do their fucking deal with the date, and whichever ones go up and turn a date and come back, they tip that bartender. They break him off 200, 300, depending. They go up for 1,000, they get that G, they come back, they break him off, right? Well, guess what? Next time when there's a sting going on, right? And the Vice is in there whacking all these fucking hoes, who do you think that bartender's going to warn? He's warning all them rods that tip them and everything, right? And you can go into that, to bring it around to the underage chicks, right? You can go into that Greyhound station almost any time. And you see all these pimps in there, and they're waiting for them underage girls to get off the bus. And they try to turn them out, runaways and stuff like that. So here's what I think. I think those guys are going to get broke off in the feds. I think those guys are going to go to the feds, and they're going to do some time, and they're going to do a lot of it. especially if they put a RICO on them for doing it as an organized deal. And we all know that they were running them there in LA. It's all a bad scene, you know.
San Bernardino is asking, ever come across child actors pond?
Absolutely.
I'm not going to say what the rumors are, but are the rumors true with what happened after he got out of shoe? He got.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
Oh shit, Tony Enclave again, man. Another 199. Thank you, Tony, man.
Right on, Tony.
Nacho Libre again. Do you know what Fox, California MA, or Big Chifa's Arizona MA? I think Fox is the one in the feds.
In the
Big
Fed.
Fox running the show.
Yeah. And I don't know that I know him personally. And the feds, they used to give you decent therapy. Now it's in Con Air. So once you fuck up on the West Coast to get even with you and pull you away from your visitors, they put you on that fucking plane. And Con Air does exist, and they fly your ass all around the fucking country.
Tony Enclave, Arizona AB, aka Wall Jammers, acknowledge that the AB Bluebirds started in California, but they are their own entity and stated in Arizona. I did state time, not bedtime. I'm from NorCal East Bay. Thank you, Tony, for the.
Yeah.
So the Bluebirds are a thing in Arizona?
The Bluebirds were the original. The Bluebirds were the original AB out here too. I mean, you got to go way back in time to get the original brand. You got to go back to, like I said, names people don't know. Bobby Butler, but he told. Dean Lakey, he told. Ronnie Harper, him and his homosexual friend Jerry, a couple of killers, both of them. They killed my partner, my homeboy, Johnny Parrish. But those are old school dudes. And then you come on up, you get Steve Barnes, Baby Dave Elliott, and you're coming up through the group like that, and New York, and it comes on up. But you got to go way back to those dudes in the beginning to get to the old Bluebirds. And yeah, so Arizona is their own tip. They're their own AB tip. And like I said, they're not going to let another tip go in there and start recruiting. But they extended the ride a solid. I told them, yeah, you can stay out here, man, and kick it, but don't recruit. Ride through that back in their face.
Okay, Slytherin 82. Can you talk about the beef in California between the HAs and the brand?
So, I mean, it didn't start really with them. It started with the Mongols, right? And what happened with them in the MA. And it started with them, and then once the HAs are going to tell the brand, the brand's just not going to dictate to them and their tip what the hell they're going to do, And so, like I said, the reach is far and wide. So when you get the MA joining up with the brand against one percenters, when I said one percenters, that covers the HAs, it covers all that. What you got is every white guy and Mexican on the main line moving against these 1% bike clubs. You can't win. There's not enough of them going in there. I think, and I don't know this for sure. Maybe I get a couple of HAs on. I mean, I know enough of them. I can get somebody on here to interview. Cool. Yeah, and I can get them on here to interview about that whole thing right there. Because here's the thing too, right? So you may see me talking to dudes like I'm trying to talk to Sammy the Bull Gravano right now. Let's see if I can't get him on here to talk to him, right? You can't really get active members of stuff because they aren't allowed to open up about stuff too much. You know what I mean? It's and so your interview, I mean, you want an interesting, spicy interview, you got to get somebody that left the tip. It's just that, right? And you're not going to, if you're somebody that sits here and judges somebody for having left a tip or been a dropout or whatever it is they did to survive or whatever it is, they're not going to come on just to have you calling them names for Sammy the Bull doing whatever he did, man. It is what it is. And I want those interviews. I want to talk to Sammy the Bull about something I witnessed go down with John Gotti in Atlanta. And he can really shed some inside light on it. So I did get his address. I did get his email. I did get a few things for him. And, I'm going to talk about getting him on here too, on the show too. But I just spun off in another direction now. Oh, yeah. So the bike tips and all of that, right? they didn't stand a chance to push back against those dudes. And I think that their clubs told them, because you don't want to tell your dude, yeah, you're going to die, but go out there and do it anyways. How are you going to tell a dude, man, just go to your death? Your dudes are going to end up over there anyway. So what you do is you embrace it. You tell them, yeah, go over here, find your brothers that are over there, and embrace each other. So I would be sitting down in Leavenworth. I'd be sitting down right there, and next to me is the Mongols eating with the Vagos, eating with the red wine. Um, there was a truce in there. And it's just the way it was because they needed each other to survive the onslaught of what was against them. But it did start with the Mongols and the MA and bled over and bled out from there.
Okay, these would be the last four. Yeah. All right, so Nacho Libre. Did you ever do time with Nicky Scarpa?
No, but I mean, I did just have the interview with.
The Sat Cat.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was up there ADX with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he speaks on it, doesn't he?
A little bit.
Yeah.
He was up there with him and some more times. Tony Onkley again. When I wasn't locked down in the smooth for 2 of 3 years of my 5 on the main line, I'd walk the yard with the Dirty Dozen MC before they patched over and before they patched over.
Right.
So who did they fall under again? Were the Outlaws? Did they patch over the Outlaws or who did they patch over?
I'm not sure. I was in Terre-Haute with a large group of outlaws. There's a bunch of them there. This area.
This one just, I'm your very well. You're just throwing names, putting the business out there. What the fuck? Like this is.
Oh, I know. Shoot me, brother.
It's already known, dude.
Yeah. I'm not throwing nothing out there that they don't know. Putting the business out there. I get so tired of hearing this shit. I slip the cuffs, right? Oh, you're giving up a game. Yeah. Let me tell you something. I got the game from them. All right, save it. When I hear somebody saying that, or whenever you hear somebody or read somebody saying that, no trust and believe. That's some fucking lame. It's a lame that's never been nowhere, never been nobody, never been any of that. Trying to get on there and look like he knows something that he don't know a damn thing about. I don't say or do. If there's anything that I think they don't know about, I'm not putting it out here. I'm not putting it on this table because I don't live that way. So quit your fucking lame shit trying to make yourself look like you're something by saying, oh, you're putting game out there. If you think that's fucking game, you're just a fucking lame because that ain't game. And then the names and all of that, these names and all, they know all this fucking stuff. All right? So if you think they don't, you have a pretty sheltered fucking life and you're just an idiot.
This is a different type of question. I have a question. What's your opinion on a 59-year-old college student who spends all his financial aid money on a new car and now needs money for clothes? Sounds like a kid. Someone's kid made it done.
Yeah, that's yeah, it's just, so he didn't really go into that looking for an education. He went into that looking for a car.
He shouldn't have to pay that all back. Well, financial aid depends if it is this financial aid on loan.
Right.
And you can't give that back. There's no defaulting or nothing.
So I don't think he went into that for an education because I know that it used to be the thing is that you'd go in and you'd get your grants and everything, right? And then so much of it would go to the school and they would throw so much of it back your way extra. And then people would do what they want with that. They would make a down payment or do whatever and pick up a car and all that, which a car you could say, which is part of the education. You need to get back and forth to school. But after the books and all that is bought, there's money left over. You know what I mean? So, that leaves it open for a lot of scrutiny.
I didn't get a loan, but I got financial aid to go to college in Western Idaho. I signed up for classes. Once I completed, went through the last of the giving, dropping out and all that shit, if you want to, they send me a check for how much the classes cost. The last one. Liver in 82. Do you know Blue with the Feds? He's a Wood from OC, the bank robber, the walking the wrong way bandit.
The wrong way bandit. I don't, brother, but it sounds interesting.
Yeah. All right.
All right, guys. This has been great, man. This has been fun. Hey, look, we're going to try to probably, if we can, maybe Friday night, hit something.
Another live?
Yeah, another live Friday night.